So, I just got to go see The Legend of Ochi, which is the brand new film from Isaiah Saxon. I believe this is his feature debut, at least Hollywood feature debut. And it's about this girl who's a part of this family who goes out and they hunt these dangerous forest creatures that in legend are essentially the boogeyman. They're horrible and they need to get rid of them, right? Until she stumbles upon a baby one of these creatures and figures out that they're not so bad. Yeah, this is another version of that original E.T. story, or even like a How to Train Your Dragon type of story, and it's done here on the big screen with practical effects, visuals that look like it was ripped right out of the 80s, in a movie that had me super, super excited. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my more anticipated films of the year based on that original teaser and all of the talent involved. I'm sad to say, like most things in 2025, I'm a little disappointed. I did not really enjoy this movie at all, if I'm gonna be honest, and which is kind of shocking because other reviewers have actually kind of raved about the movie, and I don't know, I just found this one to be a little bit dull. First things first, let's talk about the cast. Now, this movie has a very unique cast. There's some actors that you know very well and some young actors who are more new to the game. The lead here is Helena Zengel, who plays the main girl in this whole thing, and she is fine, but kind of forgettable. And it has nothing to do with her performance, but more to do with the way the character's written. This character is written to be very sort of boring and Wes Anderson-y in the sense that there's not a lot of emotion there. And this whole movie feels very Wes Anderson-y, which I'll get into in a little bit. But the lead here, I just never felt attached to the character, and I felt like the tone that they went with this character and with this film in general just didn't really help it that much. And Wolfhart's here. He doesn't do much, but he is here. Emily Watson, who I'm a big fan of, is also here. She has probably the best performance and the best moments of anybody in this film, but still a little bit forgettable. And then, of course, Willem Dafoe, who unfortunately gives maybe the most forgettable Willem Dafoe performance ever. I cannot believe I saw a Willem Dafoe movie, and I'm not raving about Willem Dafoe. I just did not care for him or his character or really anything going on in this movie. My main issue with this film is just sort of the script and the vibe here. The tone and the atmosphere and everything this movie's trying to bring is very Wes Anderson-y, like I said before, and I am not personally the biggest Wes Anderson fan. I appreciate Wes Anderson. I understand that there's people that adore that style of film and storytelling, but there's something about it that has just never really clicked for me. My favorite Wes Anderson movies are his older movies, which are much more similar to a Quentin Tarantino style of writing than a modern Wes Anderson style of writing. His newer stuff, I don't know, they just never really click with me. They feel very a style over substance at times, and maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel. And this movie felt very akin to those movies, where the characters just feel grounded down to the base emotions that a human can actually feel, and there's not much there to really cling on to as a person trying to find real humanity in my character. Like, these don't feel like real people in real situations. They feel like cinematic figures in a cinematic experience, which at times I guess could work, and it probably does for other people, but for me it just doesn't click. I also think because this is a story that we've seen done and done time after time and done better by classics like E.T. and especially How to Train Your Dragon, which is, you know, we're getting a new one this year, a live action remake of that, and those movies are very wondrous and magical, and there's a childhood glee to them that really brings you in to the heart of that emotional story of identifying this creature that we think is evil and devious and finding out that they're actually pretty chill. There's this childhood wonder in that I'm kind of missing here. This one feels a little dull and gleamish, and almost grimmish at times, even though the movie isn't grim at all. It definitely is a family movie, but it just feels so gray. Like, the vibe I got from this movie is the same vibe that I got when I saw the TV Glow last year, which is a very different genre of film, and I don't know, it just kind of sort of took me out of the experience of this film. There are some things I can rave about. This movie is gorgeous. It's probably the best shot thing that I've seen this year outside of maybe Sinners. I mean, the way they use landscapes, lighting, the way they frame and the composition, a lot of these shots, it's beautiful. The photography and the cinematography here is absolutely stunning, and definitely one of the best we're going to see all year. I also appreciate the effects of the little monster things. They are practical, and they make you feel like you're watching a movie from the 80s. It's all puppets and different real effects that all look good, great, and amazing, and I wish were used for a better script. This movie, in a lot of ways, is everything we've been asking for from Hollywood. More movies that feel grounded and less generated on a computer. Movies that took a lot of hard work from a lot of different people to create the visuals and the effects that they needed. Very much what Hollywood used to be, and from that extent, I think this movie does a good job. It looks visually pleasing. I also like the score. It's not the most wonderful score I've seen in a movie like this, but it definitely still has that beautiful fantasy-type vibe, and it works for what the film needed it to work for. Overall, though, I just found this one to be quite boring. I found myself really drifting off and being distracted throughout this film, which was a little bit disappointing. This was one of my more anticipated films of the year, one of the films I was mostly intrigued by, and unfortunately, it's one that I'm just gonna forget about within like an hour, maybe less. I'm already starting to forget that I saw this movie. So I'm gonna give The Legend of Ochi a 2 out of 5. Yeah, just kind of dull. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.